Hey, Zero. Welcome to the stream, as always. Hey, Carl. Yes, that time we've all been waiting for. That time where we defend Edgeworth. I mean, that time where we go home and take a short vacation. Yes. All right. Let us continue. Oh, yes, you can feel the excitement. December 26, 9:44 a.m. District Court, Defendant Lobby number 2. Karma? That's right. Manfred von Karma. He's the best prosecutor there is. He hasn't lost a case in his 40-year career. He is a god of prosecution, right? A god. Not a single case? He'll do anything to get a guilty verdict. Anything. Oh, okay, so, like your role model. Got it. Sounds like someone else I know, Edgeworth. You don't understand. I mean, he'll really do anything. Manfred von Karma is a man to be feared. That's quite a claim coming from someone who forges evidence. He taught me what it really means to prosecute. What? Just picture a prosecutor as vicious as me, multiplied by a factor of 10. Wonderful. So he was your teacher then, Mr. Edgeworth? Something like that. And now he's trying to get you found guilty? What a creep. Oh, wait. Maybe he's planning on losing on purpose to help you out? Not a chance. Hey, Rin. How's it going? He hasn't lost once in 40 years. 40 years. And hi, Raku. He's as ruthless as me, times 20. Our multiples are just increasing here. That's not good. That's pretty ruthless. Like I said, he's a god among prosecutors. I guess that's something like Mia was to me. Speaking of Mia... Maya? Uh-huh. We could really be using Mia's help right now, don't you think? Oh. I can't. Sorry, I tried. I really tried, but I couldn't reach. Oh me, oh Maya, yes. You couldn't reach? What, are we like in bad reception area or something? I think it's because I haven't been training. My powers are weak again. Oh man, what bad timing. I'm really sorry. I try my best. I hope so. What are you whispering about? Oh, it's nothing. Well, it's time. Let's head in. Yeah. Let's not explain to Edgeworth how we sometimes get help from our former dead boss. Yes. December 26th, 10 a.m., District Court, courtroom number 3. Oh, low on spirit energy, yes. Court is now in session for the trial of Mr. Miles Edgeworth. The defense is ready, Your Honor. Mr. Von Karma, is the prosecution ready? Fool. You seriously think that I would not stand here were I not completely prepared? Really? Really? That's... okay. Okay. I see the level of rudeness we're gonna have to deal with here. Right, my apologies. Oh, and the judge of the trial goes... Okay, okay. Well, yep, that alone tells us what we're dealing with here. He's even got the judge scared. Yeah, thanks, Phoenix. He pretty much... Once again, completing my thought. Yes. Very well. Your opening statement, please. Decisive evidence. A decisive witness. What else could possibly be required? Nothing of course. That should be fine. The prosecution may call its first witness. Yeah, clearly did just get out of his coffin, and he's clearly cranky about it. Oh boy. What's with this guy? Is he royalty or something? How am I supposed to fight against this? I called the detective in charge of this case, Detective Dick Gumshoe. Okay, Gumshoe's first. Let's see how this goes. Describe the incident. Now! Yes, sir. Detective Gumshoe looks nervous. Please take a look at the map. The murder happened late Christmas Eve, around midnight. There was one boat in the very middle of the lake. That doesn't really look like the middle, but okay. There were 2 men on the boat. Oh, Von Karma, woof. Yeah. Now, there happened to be a woman camping here on the edge of the lake. At 12 a.m., she heard 2 pistol shots. Then the boat started to move. It went toward the boat rental shop. Overhead map added to the court record. Okay. Testify to the court about the arrest, now. Wait, Mr. Von Karma. Yes? Actually, I'm the one that's supposed to be handling these proceedings. Wrong! There's only one thing you need to do here. You will slam down your gavel and say the word guilty. That is your role. Yes, of course, you're quite right. Yeah, I'm positive he had to be invited into the courthouse, you might say. Oh, boy. No, he's not? Oh, boy. Okay. A man called into the station around 30 minutes after midnight. We headed to the scene of the crime as fast as we could. That's where we found Mr. Edgeworth. Now, I didn't suspect him of anything at all. But the next morning, a body was found in the lake. So we had to arrest Mr. Edgeworth. I see. Very well. Begin your cross-examination, attorney. Now! Very well. You received a call from a man? Yep. But you said there was a woman camping there. She was the one who heard the 2 gunshots, right? That woman and the man who called in the report are 2 different people, obviously. Different people? There were 2 witnesses. Their testimonies were quite similar, however. Today I summoned the woman who was camping. The woman who was camping. A lot of heart. What happened next, detective? Okay. We headed to the scene of the crime as fast as we could. How long was it between receiving the report and your arrival at the lake? Well, I'd say it was about 3 minutes. That's pretty fast. Our motto for the month is get there quick. For the month. Okay, got you. Detective, you will refrain from casually revealing department secrets. Yes, sir. Sorry, sir. I look forward to your next year's salary review. So much to look forward to these days. This is no time for dejected daydreaming. Continue. Yes, sir. That's where we found Mr. Edgeworth. What was Mr. Edgeworth like when you saw him then? Well, from what I saw, he looked pretty relaxed. Not like a murderer at all, really. Detective, the court requires the facts, not your opinion. How many years have you been in the force? Facts only, detective. Hard, cold, objective facts. Yes, sir. Man, he's got his share of objections. Now, I didn't suspect him of anything at all. Why didn't you think he was suspicious? You should know. We have a deep, trusting relationship with the prosecutors. Detective, the court isn't interested in your musings. Deep, trusting, poppycock. I've never heard so many flippant comments from an active detective on the force. Detective Gumshoe doesn't look so good. Continue, now. But the next morning, a body was found in the lake. Did you find any clues on the body? A single bullet was recovered from the body. He was shot through the heart, fatally. Judge, here's the bullet. It didn't strike bone, so its shape was well preserved. Very well, the court accepts this bullet into evidence. Found in the victim's body, fired from a .22 caliber pistol. Okay. So we had to arrest Mr. Edgeworth. Alright. Why is that? Well, we found the murder weapon in the boat. The murder weapon? A pistol. Detective Gumshoe? That is a vital piece of information. Please revise your testimony. Right, sorry, Your Honor. The murder weapon we found in the boat was decisive evidence, okay? What about the pistol made it decisive evidence? Tisk, tisk, tisk. I believe we're about to be informed. Ah, he has the same evil laugh as Edgeworth. There were fingerprints on the pistol found in the boat. Oh. Oh, that's... okay. That's not good. They were clear prints from Mr. Edgeworth's right hand. What? Order! Order! So, Mr. Edgeworth's fingerprints were found on the murder weapon. Yes, Your Honor. Judge, this is the weapon in question. Accepted into evidence. Pistol added to the court record. Oh, boy. Murder weapon. Fired 3 times. We're getting a lot of weird things on the, number of shots here. The lady heard 2. This is fired 3 times. But there's only 1 bullet wound in the victim. I'm sure that's going to come up from... I'm sure that those discrepancies will end up being important. Alright, members of the court. We now have the pistol used in the murder and the bullet found in the body. Detective! Yes, sir? Was the bullet found in the body fired from this pistol? Yes. The ballistic marking on the bullet matched the pistol. Hey, Nick. What does he mean, ballistic markings? Shocking! To imagine here, someone here does not know something as basic as ballistic markings. Wow. Wow. Okay, fine. Nick, he's glaring at me. Very well, I'll explain. Actually, Judge, you do it. Me? Ballistic markings are like the fingerprints of a gun. The barrel leaves distinctive marks on each bullet it fires. You can examine these ballistic fingerprints to see which gun fired the shot. It's quite accurate. Indeed. This leads to one inevitable conclusion. The bullet found in the victim's heart... I swear that thing looks like the NES zapper, just with a wood finish on the hand grip. Yeah, it does. It does. The bullet found in the victim's heart was, without a doubt, fired from this pistol. This pistol, which, as you may recall, was covered with the defendant's own fingerprints. Order! Order! This is bad. Yes, Phoenix. I agree. This is really bad. This makes it look like Edgeworth did. That's why it's bad, Phoenix. Yes. Well, Judge, I'd say it's almost decisive, yes. Honestly, I could declare a verdict at this point. However, you wish to hear the witness speak, no doubt. Very well. I am somewhat fatigued, and so I will take a brief break. I will call my witness after the recess, which will last 10 minutes. Judge. Yes? What are you doing? A 10-minute recess, now! But wait, just playing your flimsy gal, get on with it, man. Yes. Ahem. This court will take a 10-minute recess. Who's running this court anyway? Clearly the prosecutor is. December 26, 11:09 a.m. District Court, Defendant Lobby Number 2. Edgeworth, what's going on here? Your fingerprints were on the murder weapon. And that foggy photo makes one thing clear. The only one who could have shot that man was the person in the photo. True. Was that you in the boat? Yes, it was me. What? But you must believe me, I didn't shoot him. Then who did? I don't know. You don't know? Weren't you right there? I heard a gunshot from very close by. Then, the other man fell from the boat. I can't say why, but I thought at the time that he shot himself. You mean it was a suicide? That's the only explanation I can come up with. Huh. How am I going to convince anyone of that? Say, Maya. Huh? What? Any progress with Mia? Oh. Sorry, it's no good. Ugh. I know. I'm no good for anything, am I, Nick? Oh, come on, Maya, don't do this. Come on. If I can't call my sister, I might as well not be here, right? Oh! Oh, that's harsh. Oh. No, I need you here. No, of course not. I need you here. I can see you're always trying to help out. Even if you don't actually help, it's the thought that counts, right? It's okay, Nick. You don't have to make me feel better. I don't know anything about trials or defense. What's more, I'm a spirit medium who can't even contact spirits. Aw, everyone has their off days. I mean, I've just been getting lucky lately. Yeah, mine needs a pick-me-up hug. Phoenix, yes. Phoenix, stat, immediately, yes. But you never know when my luck is gonna run out. Really? Whoa, right. Don't jinx this case any more than it already is. It's bad for my heart. Oh, sorry. Yeah, whoops. Yeah, we might not want to be doing that in front of the client. Yes. Court is back in session. Mr. Von Karma, call your witness. Yes. Well, Miss Lotta Hart, take the stand. Lotta Hart, you are a research student at a university? That I am. Good. Begin by telling us what you saw the night of the incident. And don't add anything trivial or subjective. Understand? Y'all need to learn some manners. Understand? Oh boy. Yeah, I understand. I understand. Very well. Your testimony, please. Alright. It was Christmas Eve, just after midnight, I reckon. I was in my car. I heard this bang come up from the lake. When I looked out the window, I saw two gents in a boat. Then there was another bang. There wasn't nary a thing on the lake but that boat. Enough. Judge. She happened to take a photo of the incident. This is that photo, accepted as evidence. Well, this is a surprise. This is like the very moment of the murder. Order! I will remove people from this courtroom if I do not have order immediately. As the witness testified, she looked at the lake when she heard the shot. There were no other boats on that lake. So the man in the boat with the victim must have been the one who shot him. Yes, it was the defendant, Miles Edgeworth. Order, order, order. I will have order. Well, Judge, the evidence is decisive. I have very little doubt about this case. Very well, this court finds the defendant... Wait, Your Honor! I haven't cross-examined the witness yet. A cross-examination? We have photographic proof. What question can there possibly be? This photo is worth 1,000 words, and they all read, guilty. You lose. Or, You claim to have found a contradiction in her testimony. Very well, if you have to, you may cross-examine the witness. You will only flounder and ask meaningless questions. You will fail to find anything. And then, I will have you held in contempt of court. Nick, contempt? Contempt of court, you know. I guess I understand. Well, what are you gonna do? Do you really think there was a contradiction with the facts in her testimony? Well, I mean, there are definitely things to explore in there, so yeah, I think there was. I think I noticed one little thing. Wow, I'm impressed, Nick. I didn't notice anything. Right, let's take him on. Yeah. I got a bad feeling about this. I understand. I will cross-examine the witness. Tisk, tisk, tisk. Very well. I pray for your sake this isn't a waste of time. Oh boy, yes, here we go. It was Christmas Eve, just after midnight, I reckon. Just after midnight, you say? In other words, it was no longer Christmas Eve, but Christmas Day. Huh? Yeah, well, yes. I know you want to find contradictions, but really? I hope your next contradiction is a little more relevant to the trial. Witness, continue your testimony. That was in my car. Why were you camping there anyway? I'm a research student at my university. I was taking pictures to use in my research. What research? This all sounds suspicious. Okay. Miss Hart, could you be more specific about your research? What does the witness's motive in camping by the lake have anything to do with the case? The answer is nothing. I object to this line of questioning. Objection sustained. Well, wait now, I'm the one who says that. Well, then say it already. Objection sustained. Thanks for nothing, Your Honor. Oh, boy. I heard this bang come up from the lake. So you weren't looking at the lake at that time? Nope. I looked after I heard that noise. Yeah, Judge is about as helpful as always. Indeed. She said that already. I asked you to find contradictions, not leisurely chat with the witness. Okay. When I looked out the window, I saw two gents in a boat. Could you clearly see the two men? Just look at the picture. Clear enough for you? Uh-oh. Wait a second. I wasn't asking you about the photo. I was asking if you saw the two men. Yeah, well, of course. The witness has testified that she saw them. There is also a photo. You best look elsewhere for your precious contradictions. He jumped in quick. He's hiding something. Then there was another bang. Were you watching the very moment the shot rang out? Well, yeah, sure. Oh, that sounds firm. You're asking meaningless questions. Meaningless! Contradictions, Mr. Wright, not meaningless babble. Von Karma, I think I hate you. He's trying to keep me from talking to the witness. To what end? There wasn't nary a thing on that lake but that boat. Are you sure about that? Yeah, sure as the country gal can be. That sounds pretty sure. How come you're so sure? Well, heck, I scanned the whole lake. Scanned the whole lake? It almost sounds like she was more interested in the lake than the boat. Miss Hart, you... Mr. Wright. The witnesses answered the question in full. No need for further questions. Objection sustained. That's what I'm... Sustained! Yes, of course. Oh, great. Great indeed. Enough. I think we've heard all we need to hear, Mr. Wright. It seems you were unable to find a contradiction in the testimony worth noting. But, Your Honor... You keep your promise. Mr. Wright, I'm afraid I'll have to penalize any further outbursts by holding you in contempt of court. And if that happens, you'll have to leave the courtroom immediately. Understood? Nick. Lotta's testimony is fishy, Nick. Real fishy. I know what you mean. But... if I can't say anything, what can I do? I believe we've covered the evidence sufficiently to make a decision. Then pass your judgment. Very well. Well, yeah. Yeah, save. Okay, yep. Alright. Alright. Mr. Miles Edgeworth, please take the stand. Who was that? It was me. Maya? Is something wrong? Do you need to use the facilities? No, I do not. Lotta Hart, your testimony stinks. It's unclear whether you were actually looking at the lake. It's highly doubtful that you actually saw Mr. Edgeworth. Tell us the truth. This is a matter of life or death. Lotta! Did you really clearly see Mr. Edgeworth that night? Did you see him fire that pistol? You will stand down. The court does not acknowledge the defense's outburst. Answer me, Lotta. What's the big idea, treating me like some kind of criminal? I saw him, I swear it. I saw Edgeworth. Enough. Judge, to declare the defense in a contempt of court. Yes, yes, of course. I'm sorry, but you were warned. Guard, escort Mr. Wright out of the courtroom. He is in contempt of court and must leave. No. No. Oh, boy. Wait. I was the one who made the outburst, Your Honor. Nick is innocent. Ha! What's the difference? All that remains is for the guilty verdict to be declared. Isn't that right, Mr. Phoenix Wright? I mean, we have to say wrong, don't we? Wrong! What? Did you hear what Miss Hart just said? She said she clearly saw Mr. Edgeworth. Hi, Kren. Yes, 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 yes. Yes. After all, I had a redeem to save too, so... Hey, Kren. Yep. Alright, so let's continue with this. That was not in the testimony. That changes her testimony, and I have a right to cross-examine her again. Order! 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 You're in contempt of court. It's too late for wild claims. Judge, sustain my objection. Uh-oh. I'm sorry, Mr. Von Karma, but I can't. I think our judge just grew a pair. What? I come for lawyering, because this was to be my profession. If I decided to be less lazy about doing 7 years of school to get into law school. Yes, you read this right. Yeah. Miss Lotta Hart has made a new testimony. The defense does have a right to cross-examine her again. But he is in contempt of court. No, I am. If you're going to arrest someone, arrest me. Very well. Maya Fey, you will leave the courtroom immediately. Nick, I did what I could. Yeah, unfortunately, pretty much the only thing you could. But yeah, thanks for your sacrifice here. Yeah, let's not give the court ideas. Yeah, damn it, Maya. Yes, indeed. You have to do the rest. Good luck, Maya. I care not for this melodrama. Listen well, Mr. Wright. I do not tolerate badgering of my witnesses. I'm running out of time. I better find a contradiction here or else. They remade this game, by the way, for the iOS. Pretty good, too, for those who like a bit of mobile stuff. Yeah, I'm using the Steam version right now, so... Mr. Wright, begin your cross-examination. That last statement. Alright. Well, what about the other man? You cannot expect to be allowed to blithely ignore your promise, Mr. Wright. I believe you claim there was a contradiction in the witness's testimony. Well, find it. If you can. Really? I get a penalty for pressing? Ouch. Okay. Yeah, now it's actually going to be pretty tough. Gotta pinpoint it, yes. There's only one thing I can think about, and that has to deal with the number of shots. So, But wait, first. Since we already hit a penalty. Okay. Okay. Well, let's try the photo first, because yeah, there's definitely nothing clear about this. Got you! Got you, Miss Hart. Finally! Yeah, I think the number of shots is going to come in relevant, but yeah, it just occurred to me that the game probably does not want me to bring that up just yet. So, what? You got what? Look at this photograph. The photo I took? The very same. There's something I want you to see in this photo. It's quite clearly visible. The fog, Miss Hart. So? This picture was taken with professional, high-quality film, correct? Yeah, even it could not capture the faces of the men on the vote. Yet you claim you saw Mr. Edgeworth. How? What? What? Mr. Wright has a point. That's why I told her not to say that in her testimony, please. Yet now she has said it, Mr. Karma. How could you possibly see Mr. Edgeworth? Explain yourself. Miss Hart. What? Could you see the defendant that night? Of course, I said I could, and I meant I could. Then please testify as to the circumstances of your sighting. I did it! I finally found a hole in Von Karma's carefully vague testimony. How Edgeworth was seen. Okay. You're right, it was a cold night and the fog was thick as grits. So, once I was finished setting up my camera, I got back to the car. Still, I brought my binoculars with me. When I heard that noise out on the lake, I looked with my binoculars. See? No problem. You used binoculars? Very well, you may begin your cross-examination, Mr. Wright. This one had better be good. Okay. How Edgeworth was seen. Okay. Now, since we actually took a penalty just for pressing this time, which I hadn't seen yet before, we're going to go ahead and save. Oh, boy. Because I'm going to continue, of course, pressing everything, because, yes, we need, like, every little bit of information we can possibly get right now. So, you're right, it was a cold night, and the mist was thick as grits. So, how could you see Edgeworth? Now, just hold your horses for a sec. You hasty Yankee types never find the gal where I'm from. Defense attorneys have trouble with that as it is. Okay, then. Nobody loves me. Oh, I'm sorry, Phoenix. So, once I was finished setting up my camera, I got back in the car. Your camera? Yeah, it's got an automatic. The issue we are concerned with here is Miss Hart seeing Mr. Edgeworth. The camera has nothing to do with this at all. Objection sustained. He's not letting her answer any of my questions. Still, I brought my binoculars with me. Binoculars? Yeah, binoculars. Yesterday you mentioned that you were out looking for shooting stars, correct? Well, yeah. Wouldn't you need a telescope, not binoculars for that? I've got doubts about your camera, too. Was that really to take pictures of meteor showers? The camera is irrelevant to this case. You can't say that for certain. Mr. Wright. Is the camera really relevant to this case? If you believe it is, you may continue with this line of questioning. But know this. If you find nothing with this, there will be consequences. Well, Mr. Wright? Do you wish to press further about the camera? Yes, I do, but I also want a safety. This is make it or break it time. The camera is of utmost importance, Your Honor. It is perhaps the key to this entire case. Therefore, I will continue my line of questioning. Wow, maybe I went a little overboard there. Quite possibly, Phoenix. I don't think we actually know that it's key to the case yet. Very well. Miss Hart, you will testify to the court about the camera. Yeah, I hear ya. The camera was set up to take pictures of a meteor shower. When I heard that noise out on the lake, I looked with my binoculars. Wait a minute. Do meteor showers really make that much noise? I think they were, you know, at least from the ground, I thought they were, like, purely visual. That's... Okay, that's another oddity to keep in mind. When I heard that noise on the lake, I looked with my binoculars. Okay, let's see here. Yeah, I don't think so. I think they had to be worryingly close to the ground if they did. Yeah. Okay. Alright. Miss Hart. What made you choose that lake to photograph meteors? You know the fog gets thick on that lake. It's not very suited to stargazing. Yeah, well, you see, I guess I wasn't thinking too straight. Har. Mr. Wright. I will not have you badgering my witnesses because we're challenged intellect. Now wait a minute. Continue your testimony. You were saying how it was that you saw Edgeworth? Grr. No unnecessary comments, please. When I heard that noise out on the lake, I looked with my binoculars. Okay. Second. So once that's finished second. Okay. Hold on here. So, how could you see Edgeworth? Just hold your horses for a second. Okay, no, wait, this is the same stuff. Okay. Camera was set up to take pictures of a meteor shower. When I heard that noise out of the lake, I looked at my binoculars. Okay. It's gotta be something to do with this. What do we have to present? What's this? Oh yeah, we got that photo from the... I'm not sure what the game wants me to do here. I mean, I have a couple things to investigate, but they don't seem like they're relevant yet. Oh, boy. Automatically. Well, let's see if this being fired 3 times has anything to do with what will be relevant yet. Nope. Okay. That's not relevant yet. Oop. I saved a little farther back than I thought I did. Okay. Yeah, this is basically a puzzle game, so you guys are always allowed to, you know, come in, unless you actually, like, you know, absolutely know the answer, then, hold your peace. But if you're just guessing... Okay. Okay, let's save at this spot now. That's a good point. That is a really good point. Yeah, why would it be aimed at the lake? Okay. And this point would be the one that would make the most sense to bring it up to. Okay. You were photographing shooting stars? That's a lie. Sasu! I saw the camera you set up yesterday. It was pointed directly at the lake. You had to point the camera upwards to take photos of the stars, Mrs. Hart. Oh, boy. Alright. Yeah, thanks, Zero. I was actually going to present the camera next, but I didn't actually have a reason for it. You gave me... you gave me the logical reason for that. So, Mr. Wright, what are you driving at? The witness was not at the lake to photograph shooting stars, Your Honor. Well then, what exactly was she photographing? Oh, of course, it's gotta be, Gordy, yes. Your Honor, take a look at this. What was Mr. Hart trying to photograph at the lake? Okay, is that... There we are, yes, this is correct. Miss Hart! This is what you were trying to photograph. What's this? A newspaper article? Gordy? Ah, the sighting at Gord Lake. Well, Miss Hart? I never heard an old lake monster. You got proof or something? Let's see you prove that I was down at the lake trying to photograph this Gordy. Do we have proof? Well, I mean, I think we have to say that, but... I mean, to say otherwise is to kind of, you know, back off from this line. It's like the only shred we got right now, so... I have it! Proof! Intriguing. Very well, let's see it. And no joking around this time, please. What is proof that the witness was trying to photograph Gordy, the lake monster? Okay. What have we got? What is this again? Oh, okay, overhead map of Gord Lake. I'm gonna try this again because, yeah, I mean, loud noise again would be useless for a meteor shower. The proof, Miss Hart, is your own camera. Your camera was set to take photos in response to loud noises, correct? Thus, this photograph here taken when a gun was fired on the lake. And here, this article about Gordy. According to this article, Gordy made a loud noise when it emerged. Well, you were trying to photograph Gordy, weren't you? That's why you had set up your camera to respond to loud noises. Order! Order! I see. I too thought it was a little strange. Yeah, sure. Well, Miss Hart, you were camping there to try to take a photo of Gordy, weren't you? Yeah. Not bad. Are all you lawyers that smart? So smart, boy. I was down there trying to photograph Gordy. You got me. So what? Huh? Yeah, that is the problem. Establishing she's there for a different reason than she said doesn't necessarily help us that much. That don't change what I saw, does it? Exactly. What you just used several precious minutes of our time to prove is nothing more than that the witness is an idiot who makes monsters exist. Hey! But as she so succinctly said, so what? It changes nothing. Not true. You were hiding the whole thing about Gordy for some reason, I know it. But what could it have been? Whatever it is, I'm getting to the bottom of this. Mrs. Hart. Excuse me, Miss Hart. Why do I keep tripping over Ms.? Seriously. Why did you hide the fact that you were searching for Gordy from the court? Please provide your testimony. Right, fine, I'll testify. It won't change nothing, though. Said the monster. Yeah, something will change, it has to. Oh, I know. New theory of the case. Gordy shot the victim. It's brilliant. Okay, and I'm going to spot it. Lada's new testimony. Okay. Actually, I'm not a research student at a university. I'm an investigative photographer. Imagine what a scoop it'd be if I got a picture of that monster. That's why I was camping out by the lake. But that's all I was hiding. When I heard the bang, I looked straight out at the lake. There wasn't much else to look at, so I just watched that boat the whole time. Then I saw a flash near one of the man's hands, and I heard another gunshot. I was looking right at that boat the whole time, crossed my heart, and hoped to fry. Okay, I haven't heard that particular, okay. Okay. Well, Mr. Wright, you may cross-examine the witness. The witness's testimony is unchanged from before. Whether she is a research student or a photographer has no bearing on this case. I suspect that's the South in her getting inventive with her phrases. Yeah, probably. There is no need to waste more of our time with another pointless cross-examination. I claim the defense's right to cross-examine the witness, Your Honor. Von Karma's up to something, I know it. He doesn't want me to cross-examine her because... Why? Was it a contradiction? Very well. You may begin the cross-examination. You seem sure of yourself. You must have something in mind. I guess we totally do. I mean, we do. This is my guess is this is where the number of shots is going to come in relevant. So, Ha! That would be a first. Ha ha ha! Very funny. You understand this is your last chance at a cross-examination, Mr. Wright? If there is no problem with the testimony this time, we will let the witness leave. I will announce my verdict at that time, Mr. Wright. Understood? Yes, Your Honor. Okay. Lotta's new testimony. Again, safety save, since we can apparently take penalties on pressing. Okay. Then what manner of person are you? I'm not sure I'm highfalutin enough to be called a manner of anything. Okay. An investigative reporter? Yep. You get your photo and sell it to the press. It's that kind of business. Hey, I was taking pictures at my sister's graduation last year. And guess what? What? There was a UFA just hanging in the sky. A UFA? You know, an unidentified flying object, a UFA. Okay. That's when I had a sort of revelation. I knew I should become an investigative photographer. I see. Kind of a shaky basis for a career. Phoenix, you know, don't be so hard on her. We talked to our dead boss through, our partner, so, you know, maybe let's be a little easy on the, you know, UFO skepticism in this world. Imagine what stupid to be if I got a picture of that monster. Is Gordy really all that newsworthy? Heck yeah! They even had him up on the TV! I'm not sure that appearing on the local news' Rumor of the Month segment qualifies. Last month's segment was Bigfoot sorted on Acorn Hill, I believe. Hey, they also had a picture of him in the newspaper. For real! Mr. Wright, it's the one fight I don't believe you can win. Let's keep moving, shall we? Yes, Your Honor. Alright. That's why I was camping out by the lake. That's why you put the automatic sensor on your camera? Yep. Borrowed it from a university professor. It analyzes every sound it picks up, and when it gets a bang, it snaps a shot. Yep. So how many pictures has it taken so far? Oh, yes. Yes. Yes, I like this question. The only time the camera triggered was that night. But that was an insufficient answer. But that's all I was hiding. I think it's time you told us why you felt you had to hide your true purpose at the lake. Heck, if word got out what I was up to, the lake would be swarming with competitors. Competitors? Yeah, second-rate shutterbugs trying to steal my scoop. Ah, is that the only reason you were hiding the truth? Well, actually... Mr. Wright, I'll not have you asking questions with no relevance to this case. Whatever you say, Von Karma, I know you told her to keep quiet. Okay. When I heard the bang, I looked straight out the lake. Okay. Exactly what sort of sound was it? Well, I never heard one before, so I can't say for sure, but it sounded like a gunshot. It was a lot sharper a sound than I would have expected. There wasn't much else to look at, so I just watched the boat the whole time. There wasn't much else to look at? Yep. I don't know, she heard a bang and she thought Gordy was out there. I kinda doubt she'd waste any time looking at a boat. What? What did I do now? What are you giving me that look for? Definitely suspicious. Maybe it's time for some evidence. Witness, continue. Hold your hush puppies, Pops. I'm getting there. Okay. So, the game is giving us quite a bit of a hint there that we need to present something. But what exactly? Let's see. Time of death. Okay, autopsy report does not seem relevant. Could that possibly be it? Oh, I need to... I don't think I saved. Okay. Wasn't much else to look at, so I just watched the boat the whole time. Percent. Let's try this again. Miss Hart! Well, that proves we actually did the right thing. Okay. Were you really looking at that boat? What's with you? Of course I was looking at it. It was the only thing out there. Any normal person would be looking at it. I agree. Any normal person would. Phoenix. Did we really have to, go with that? Very well. Let's continue there. But you are far from normal. What? Y'all want to stop over here and say that? You were camping at the lake to take a picture of Gordy. Think about it. What would you do if you heard a loud noise? You'd be scanning the lake for any sign of Gordy, that's what. You wouldn't give the boat a second thought. Oh, she gonna charge the bench. Yes! Order! Continue, Mr. Wright. You testified that you were watching the boat through binoculars. However, you wouldn't need binoculars to watch that boat. You needed them to search for Gordy, and that's what you were doing. Well? Well, now that y'all mention it, I did sort of take my binoculars and kind of scan the lake a bit. I mean, Gordy might be out there and all. Miss Hart, are you saying that you were not watching the boat then? Sorry, y'all. I wasn't fibbing, really. I was just... I thought, you know, I could be witness to a murder and all. I kind of got excited. I was sure I was watching that boat. Until now. This is totally uncalled for. But hey, you got the photograph, you got proof. Still, we can't see who is shooting who in this. Right. That's why I took this photo and... Witness. That's enough. You've had a long day. Shut your pie hole. Shut my what? What was she going to say? Come on, Phoenix. We already know. She said she'd sent it in to get it, like, basically enhanced or enlarged or something. She took the photo and what? Wait a second. She even had a photograph to prove it. But you really can't tell from the photo who is shooting. That's why she said she's going to enlarge the photo. Yes. She said it'll drop the quality a mite, but it should let us see who's who. Okay. She enlarged that photo. Why won't Von Karma let her show it? I've got a hunch. Oh no, the background went dark. This is important. I bet that enlarged photo shows something bad for Von Karma. This is my chance. If I'm wrong, though, it'll mean prison for Edgeworth. Or worse. Yes, it means we might spend a night in a slammer. What should I do? Oh, we are definitely not waiting to see what happens, but... Okay, we're in the void of time and space now. We need to get serious. Yes. Yes. Miss Hart, look at this photograph. You enlarged this photograph, did you not? Yeah, I did. Why has that enlargement not been presented to the court? Because it does not exist. What are y'all talking about? You were the one who told me not to show it in court in the first place. You old fool. What is the meaning of this, Mr. Von Karma? Ms. Hart. Show the photo to the court. Show us the enlargement. The prosecution objects to the submission of this evidence. Objection denied. Yes, Judge, you have grown a pair. Thank you. We needed that now. Yes. The witness will show the enlargement to the court. Ooh, a lot of hate intimidated by Elkhart turning a law. Yeah. Yeah. Here it is. Oh, that's still not very clear. We still cannot see who is firing this. It could be the defendant, or maybe it's not. Regardless, I'll accept this as evidence. Blake photo added to the court record. Happy now, Mr. Wright? There has to be something. You asked for the enlargement, you got the enlargement. A little good it has done any of us. That's why I requested she not show it. That makes no sense. I suppose this means that the cross-examination is over, obviously. Then I would like to close the cross-examination of Miss Lotta Hart. And none too soon. That was a flagrant waste of my time. Mr. Von Karma, do you have anything to add? I stated everything I needed to when this trial began. Decisive evidence, a decisive witness. What else could possibly be required? Nothing, of course. Then I believe it is time for me to declare my verdict. Wait, it's not supposed to go like this. There has to be a clue in this photo, somewhere. This is bad, real bad. What should I do? Okay. Well, we definitely can't wait and see, but the other... Okay, hold on. Let's do this there. Alright, let's start by objecting to the enlargement there. I still think the number of shots is going to come out irrelevant, but I don't know if this is the time to do that. It could be, though. Your Honor, there is something decidedly strange with this enlargement. What might that be? Mr. Wright. Oh, we're taking a penalty, are we? You will show the court what you mean. Oh no, we're just at risk of getting a penalty. Okay. You will show the court what you mean. What about this photo is strange? Okay, here goes nothing. I'll show the judge what's strange about this photo. Okay. So... we do seem to be on the right track, but... what exactly is odd about this? Would they be that particular about it? I mean, light travels faster than sound, so it would be a little weird that we see the flash, isn't it? Here, Your Honor. Where? Mr. Wright, I understand you're in a tight spot. However, you have nothing to gain by making baseless claims of faulty evidence. Okay, nope. Alright. Okay. Yeah, by the time you hear the gunshot, it'll be over. Something tells me it's the hand. Maybe Edgeworth isn't left-handed? Yeah, but I don't think we've ever had any... Okay. I don't know. Well, let's go ahead and try it. Yeah, it's probably not, because I don't think it's ever been brought up what, you know, what Edgeworth's dominant hand is. But let's go ahead and give it a shot. The shooter? I'm not sure I understand. What about the shooter is strange? Okay, it seems we might have accidentally hit what we need to do. Look at the handhold. Really? Wow, okay. I think it sounds like you actually hit it, Carl. Huh. Okay, look at the hand holding the pistol, Your Honor. The hand? The hand directly contradicts another piece of evidence. This man's left hand does what? Let me show you. I'll show you the evidence the left hand contradicts. Okay, is it... Oh! It did get brought up. You're right, Carl. There we are. There's where it... Yes. Yes, there we are. Alright. The evidence is clear. The man in this photograph is holding that pistol in his left hand. However... the prints on the murder weapon were for Edgeworth's right hand. Ergo, the man shooting the pistol in this photograph is not Mr. Edgeworth. Now that everyone in the courtroom has quieted down, I would like to reconvene this court of law. Mr. Wright. Yes, Your Honor? You have given us definitive proof today. We now know that it was not Mr. Edgeworth who fired the pistol that night. However, this leaves us with a rather large problem. If Mr. Edgeworth didn't do it, then who shot our victim? Precisely. As we have seen, there were no other people on the lake that night. Who but the defendant could have shot the victim? I mean, Larry? Oh, that would be funny, and I'm tempted to do it. Just, yeah. Yeah. Let's take a silly moment here. Let's just take a silly moment. I want to see where this goes. Wait, I can't do that. Sacrifice one friend to save another? What's the point? Well, alright, your answer? Okay. Who was the defendant could have shot the victim? Okay. That was not as entertaining as I was hoping for. Alright. There's only one explanation remaining. The man who shot the victim was none other than the victim himself. Order! Order! So you were saying that the victim committed suicide? Yes, Your Honor. I can think of no other explanation. Indeed, that does seem to be the only remaining option. I'm so very, very sorry, Mr. Wright. But suicide is out of the question. What? An examination of the victim's wound reveals that the distance at which he was shot. The distance? The victim was clearly shot from further than a meter away. A meter? That's 3 feet. There's no way it could have been suicide. Order! Order! Mr. Von Karma, are you sure of the accuracy of your data? Of course, I had already considered the possibility of suicide, you see. Autopsy report updated in the court record. I see. Very well, allow me to state my opinion. Considering the situation, the shooter had to be the defendant, Mr. Edgeworth. However, the prints on the gun reveal that the shooter was not Mr. Edgeworth. This is a conundrum. Yes. Therefore, I would like to suspend proceedings for this trial for the day. The court orders the defense and the prosecution to further investigate this matter. Understood? Yes, Your Honor. That is all. This court is adjourned. Okay. December 26th, 1:15 p.m., District Court, Defendant Lobby number 2. Phew, that was the close one. Hey, don't you have anything to say? No, I have yet to be declared innocent, right? Well, yeah, but what happened out there on that lake anyway? If he didn't commit suicide, then who? The shooter was about a meter away, too. What? Don't give me that look. I did not kill him. I was just kidding around. Humph. Look. I'm gonna go check on Maya. Oh. Right. What? Tell her something for me. What? Oh, are you gonna say thanks? Is that what this is about? Tell her to watch what she says in court. Of course. Of course. That's all. Would it kill you to just state how you really feel with a thanks, Edgeworth? I requisitioned a transcript of Lada's entire testimony. I thought it might give me some ammunition for the trial tomorrow. Of course, she didn't see the shooter, so the only part of her testimony that stood was the bang she heard. Lada's deposition added to the court record. To be continued. Alright. Alright. Yeah, let's go ahead and try to continue for a bit. Alright. December 26th, Detention Center, Visitor's Room. Maya! Hey, Nick, it's you. I'm glad Mr. Edgeworth made it through the day okay. It's a relief. Hey. Why did you do that anyway? I don't know. I just knew I had to do something. I know I'm not the lawyer my sister was. I'm sorry. Well, you did save the trial. Just behave from now on, okay? Okay. Okay. Have you been questioned yet? No, not yet. Detective Gumshoe is here just now. He said seeing as this is your first offense, we'll let you go after questioning. Phew! Oh, and he wanted me to get bail money ready. You can pay for me, okay? Huh? How much? I don't know. I guess they'll send you a bill or something. Why do I picture giant bales of money every time I hear the word bail? Alright. Any luck with Mia? None. I can't get through to her at all. I tried. I really did. She's so cheerful about us so easily. Yeah. I don't know what to do. I think I probably shouldn't have stopped my training. She sounds like she really did do her best. I should check and see if there are any waterfalls in the local area. I wonder if I'll ever see my sister again. Okay. Just a quick look. I don't think there's anything to present to her, but... I'm kind of curious. I want to... Well, let's see if she actually said anything about this. My mother? Now that I've shown her the picture, I'm not so sure it was the right thing to do. No, I'm pretty sure it was the wrong thing to do. Okay. 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 Yeah, I don't think there's anything else to present there. Okay. Alright, let's go to the Criminal Affairs Department here. See if we can talk to Gumshoe. December 26th. Police Department, Criminal Affairs. Detective Gumshoe's not here. Of course he's not. Gumshoe's at the scene again today. Huh? Oh, really? He's a live wire, that one. Got into a fight with the chief for not following protocol. Not following protocol? I bet he wouldn't help them build the case against Edgeworth. Okay. Then, in that case, back to the scene. December 26th, Gourd Lake Park, entrance. There are fewer than there were yesterday, but the cops are still around in the park. I wonder if Detective Gumshoe is here today. Alright. I don't think there's anything really to look at, so let's go ahead and... Alright, Gourd Lake Public Beach. Yes. December 26th, Gourd Lake Public Beach. Haven't seen Larry around today at all. Probably off paying through the nose on a date with the lovely Kianse. Okay. Doesn't really look like anything's changed here, so same thing we had before. Let's check the woods first. Summer 26th, Gourd Lake Woods. There we are. Hey, Detective Gumshoe. Hey, pal. The trial today, Yes? What about the trial? Well, I was gonna say good show, but it wasn't really all that. Well, you did save Mr. Edgeworth, I guess. I just wasn't sure how to thank you, you know? Thanks. Okay. Well. Detective Gumshoe. Any idea what strategy Von Karma is planning for tomorrow? It sounds like he's bringing in another witness. Another witness? Oh, right. He said something about in the trial today. There were 2 witnesses. And 4 lights. Oh, okay, sorry. I was wondering who that other witness was. Who was it? Sorry, pal. As much as I'd like to, I'm not at liberty to divulge that information. Right. Okay. Peter Edgeworth. Alright, I wanted to ask you something about Edgeworth. What's up? Is he afraid of earthquakes? I never heard anything about that before. Mr. Edgeworth doesn't talk about himself too much, see? But there's one thing that's clear as day. Him hating crime the way he does, and him becoming a prosecutor, and him being scared of earthquakes. It all started with that incident. The DL6 incident? Yep, that's the one. 15 years ago, when he saw his father shot before his very eyes. He still feels the pain now. You can see it in his eyes. Alright. So there was an earthquake that day. Okay. Alright. Or at least I would presume so. Maya Fey. I want to talk to you about Maya Fey. Huh? She's not on a bail yet? That's strange. I told them to let her go as soon as they had their report written up. Man. I don't know what would have happened in that courtroom yet today if it weren't for her. Seeing her get dragged out by the bailiff? I'll be honest with you, pal, I shed a tear or two. Mr. Edgeworth, he was so moved I saw his lip trembling. Really? Cold as ice Edgeworth? He was really grateful for what she did, you know. I'm gonna head back to the station. I'll get the report on Maya and get her out of there as soon as I can. Thank you. Oh, wait. I was wondering, how much is bail going to be? Don't worry about that. Mr. Edgeworth is posting the whole amount. What? Edgeworth? Didn't I tell you? He's grateful to her for what she did. Alright, pal. Well, don't forget to go pick her up, okay? Maybe I can get Edgeworth to pay this month's rent, too? Gumshoe just always looks like he's tweaking, even though he's a Boy Scout. He's high on life. Oh, boy. Okay, Okay. Nothing seems to have changed here. Let's just take another quick look at the boat rental shop, even though I don't think there'll be anything new, but... December 26th, boat rental shop. Looks like the boat rental shop is closed today, too. Okay. Just take a quick look there. Small boat rental shop. Doesn't look like anyone is around. They're probably closed because of the murder. There are some boats floating at the dock. The murder took place in a boat from this dock. Apparently, the police took away the actual boat that was used that night. Indeed, there's space for one more boat at the dock. Okay. And there's more forest off that way. I doubt I find any helpful clues in there. Okay. Okay. Okay, I don't think it was anything useful. So there. Okay. Most likely we should probably just go back and try to pick up my, December 26th, Detention Center, Visitor's Room. Hey, Nick! You finally came! They just finished the paperwork. I'm free to go. Free at last, eh? Those interrogators were really mean. They were like, okay, well, what did you do this time? Like I was some kind of criminal. Can you believe it? Well, they let you out in the end, didn't they? Oh, that reminds me. Thanks for bail. Thank Edgeworth. Huh? He posted bail for you. Said he was grateful for what you did. Mr. Edgeworth did that? I have to make it up to him. We've got to win this case, Nick. Okay. Anything new to... Oh, just the usual. Well, why not? Okay, what do you think we should do next? We're kind of lacking in the clues department. We could go to the park and look for Gordy. I was kidding. Still, if there are any clues out there, the park's as good a bet as any. I mean, we should investigate that angle. Remember our theory? Gordy was the one who shot the victim. Yes. What do you say? Shall we head down there? Sure. Have you noticed anything lately? You know, I did notice one thing while I was here in detention. It's really pretty comfortable here. It's warm and they keep it very clean. You notice anything about the case? Well, not much more than that, no. She's probably still upset about me. I should leave her alone. Okay. Alright then. Yeah, let's get back out to the lake. December 26th, Cord Lake Park, entrance. There aren't many cops around today, are there? They're probably back at the precinct, working up the case against Edgeworth. Hey, y'all! Hey, it's Lotta! Y'all really did it today. What did we do now? No, I'm not complaining. See, I did a little thinking. A little self-reflection, you might say. I realize that being a witness is a mighty big responsibility. You're only now realizing this? Okay, then. But I just went up there and started babbling any old thing that came to mind. Lotta. So you see, I want to make it up to y'all. Make it up? Okay. What did you think of the trial? To be honest, I was doing it half just to say I'd been a witness. Even though I didn't really see anything. I kind of convinced myself I had, though. I'm sorry, I know I caused y'all a lot of trouble. Well, memory is a tricky, vague little thing. Yeah, I sure know that now. I'll be fine the next time I witness a murder. Yes, yes, you're banking on there being a next time, aren't you? Right. You mean the first time you witnessed a murder? Oh, boy. What about Gordy? Right. Well, the way I figure, the trial's only stoking the flames of Gordy fever. I'll get my exclusive photos and rocket to stardom. Alright, Lotta, you go, girl. I wish I could be an investigative photographer, too. Finish your spirit meteor training first. Okay. Lotta, what do you mean by making it up to us? Well, you see... Actually, I got a bit of information for you. What? That Von Karma didn't want me to say nothing about it. What information? Now we're getting to the heart of it. See, I reckon we might be able to do ourselves a little exchange. Exchange? I thought this was to make it up to us. Right. I proposed a little exchange to make it up to you. What? Information don't come cheap, my friend. Hey. I see you thinking, my, how unsophisticated these southern folks are. It's written all over your face. Let me tell you, most southerners are way more sophisticated than you. I'm just the exception. Okay. Can we get to the terms of this exchange, please? Well, what'll it be? We get a deal or not? What do we do, Nick? We don't have any idea of the terms of the deal, but, yes, we're gonna deal. Because we spend every case desperate, so, yes, we deal. We don't have any other leads, so I don't think we have a choice here. Okay, how much? Huh? You completely off, you rocker? I may not be sophisticated, but I'm not trying to rob the poor. Huh? The only fair exchange for the information is information. Listen good. What I need for you is information about Gordy. Whoa. Gordy? But Gordy doesn't... I mean, Gordy might not exist. Then bring me proof that shows you don't. I'll be keeping watch from the car, okay? You see something, you all come to me first. Got it? Okay. Right. See y'all later. Okay, so our investigation just took a turn there. Okay, Nick, let's get hunting. Hunting? You don't seriously mean... Gordy? I sure do. What about Edgeworth? We're searching for Gordy for him, Nick. Don't you get it? Okay, and how exactly do we search for a make-believe monster? Maybe we can find a monster myth specialist? Okay, is this where Larry's gonna come in? Okay, alright, let's just see who we can find around. What? What? December 26th, Gord Lake, Public Beach. What's that? The Steel Samurai, Nick. Yo, Maya! Well, there we go, Larry. Larry, what the heck is that? Oh, it's my girl Kiase's idea. She was all, if you like, put this here, it would be like, really cool. Dude, she gave it to me, along with the banner. Wow. That's real impressive she could find those for you. Well, she knows a lot of people. And that show's finished now, so she got them for free. Got them for free. Right. Okay. Well, we were kind of looking for you, so, except I wanted to ask you about Gordy, and we can't seem to... Yo, Nick. What happened with Edgy? Well, we made it through the first day in court, all right. I don't know how good our prospects are from here on, though. Huh. Hey, Larry, did you know Mr. Edgeworth's secret weakness? He's terrified of earthquakes. He acts like a little boy. Huh. That's weird. I don't think he was ever like that in school. No? Really? Well, we were only in the same class for a little bit. He transferred schools pretty quickly. Transferred. Right, when the DL6 incident happened. Doesn't look like Larry knows about it, though. Hey, Larry. When did you get that big thing? Huh? Oh, the big guy? I've had that for about a month, yeah. It's a big hit with the kids. Why wasn't it there yesterday? Huh? Huh? Oh, right. The compressor was busted. The compressor? Yeah, it's that little unit by my hot dog stand. That's what I used to put air in the Steel Samurai. It broke a little while ago, so I sent it in for repairs. Oh. And here I thought you'd inflated it by yourself. Okay. Is this compressor gonna actually be like a useful detail? I mean, I suppose a compressor breaking could make a pretty loud noise. What's this machine? That's a compressor. I use it to fill up that balloon there with air. Huh, neat. Just got it repaired yesterday. Man, what a drag that was. Okay. But we don't know when it broke. He's not telling us when it broke. Doesn't that Steel Samurai look a little out of place? I mean, it's so huge. I guess it's good advertising. Something about this Steel Samurai just doesn't work for me. Okay, this is unexpected, Maya. Why? Huh? Really? It looks pretty well made to me. Still a novice, aren't you, Nick? Really? True connoisseurs like Cody and me don't fall for this kind of stuff. These Steel Samurai fans are obviously in a league of their own. Okay. What about this banner? Those flags look sadly out of place here. Flapping listlessly back and forth in a cold wind under a cold sky. I don't know, I think it gives the place a kind of festival atmosphere. It reminds me of the War of the Eyeglasses. The War of the what? Huh? What? You mean you don't know the War of the Eyeglasses? What the heck is it? Our local fair used to do it every summer. Huh, I guess we were the only ones. I ask again, what the heck is it? Okay. Don't really think there's anything new for us to look at in these. We'll come back and check if we get stuck. Anything else to talk about? Okay, no. Okay. Let's take another quick look over here. December 26th, boat rental shop. It's always so quiet here. I wonder if the boat shop is closed for good. Well, with the murder on the lake and all. They're probably just taking a vacation until it blows over. I get it. Okay. So she brought that up, but does that mean there's actually something to look at? Well, we did look at the boats. Why is it not checked? There are some boats floating at the dock. The murder took place in a boat from this dock. Apparently, the police took away the actual boat that was used that night. Indeed, there's space for one more boat at the dock. But you're just saying the same thing, so why wasn't that checked? Okay, I don't know. Alright. Okay. To the woods then for a moment. December 26th, Gourd Lake Woods. Hey, y'all! Well, y'all find anything out about Gordy? No, not really. No, nothing. Well, keep moving. It gets cold out here at nighttime. It is a little chilly. I think I have to sneeze. Whoa, no, you don't. No sneezing. Watch you. I told y'all, no sneezing. See, I set the camera to respond to things a little softer than a bang. The trigger on one of on camera's finger snaps now. Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, well, sorry's nice. What about my film? Nick, pay the late. Oh, boy. Okay. I learned something in today's trial, that's for sure. Testifying is serious business, that's why I decided not to talk about that case anymore. Huh? Whoa, didn't you say you had information about the case? Tell us that at least. Like I said, I'll trade it for the dirt on Gordy. Okay. Gonna say anything new about Gordy? What are you gonna do if Gordy doesn't exist? I'll quit being an investigative photographer. What? After all, I only have one photo to my name so far. Was it a good one? You bet. A UFA. A UFA? Anyway, if I can't get a career-making photo this time around, then that's it. I'll quit and go back to school. Huh? So you really are a university student? Yeah, well, I'm taking a break for a bit. Right. Well, we just talked about that. Why isn't that not checked? 'Cause that's just... So it's just the same stuff. Okay. Game, you're being a bit weird on me here. Okay. Okay, anything new for us to look at? Hey, Nick. What, don't tell me you're hungry again. No. I was just wondering, why can't he possibly... Okay, we've seen this. Okay. While his camera is staring out at the lake as usual. Even a novice like me can tell that camera must cost a pretty penny. Okay, let's just go see who else we run into. We'll walk around some places and see who else we run into. Oh. Not what I wanted to do. Okay. Go to the entrance. Nobody out here. December 26th, Police Department, Criminal Affairs. Hey there, pal. What's up? You look out of sorts. Wait, you didn't go and do something that's gonna hurt Mr. Edgeworth's case again. What do you mean again? Whatever, have a seat, pal. I'm here for you if you need anything. Besides money, that is. Say, Detective Gumshoe, do you know Gordy? The monster down in Gourd Lake? Not personally, no. Well, we're looking for it. Huh? Are you out of your minds? Eek! You got time to go wild monster hunting? How about doing a little questioning for me, then? Oh? Detective Gumshoe is scaring me, Nick. I told Detective Gumshoe about the deal with Lotta. Nick, try telling him sooner next time. Sorry. I see, pal. Sorry for shouting at you. Okay. Detective Gumshoe will aid your search for Gordy. Huh? I'll loan you one of our newest secret weapons for finding evidence. Really? You can take whichever one you like. Secret weapons? Okay, give us the goods. Hold on now, everything in due time. First, let me show them to you. These are our best and brightest. Introducing secret weapon number 1. Missile. Missile? He's a canine police dog, still in training. Missile! Missile! Here, boy. Woof. Here he is. Hey, he's cute. Look, Nick, cute dog. Cute dog. And this will help us how? I don't know, I kind of do want to take him out by the lake just to see, but... Alright, next. Secret weapon number 2. A fishing pole. Here, this is my own personal pole. Detective Gumshoe, we're looking for a monster. Yeah! How are we supposed to catch a whole sea monster with a fishing pole? Never know till you try, pal. Okay, this next one is the last one. No, please, I'm already overwhelmed by our choices. Secret weapon number 3. A metal detector. Here. Detective Gumshoe, we're looking for something alive. Right. How are we supposed to find it with a metal detector? Hey, you never know. It might have been eating soda cans. Well, which will it be? I can't make up my mind, Nick. They all seem so perfect. Okay. I can't make up my mind either. For the totally opposite reason. Well, I suppose it can't help to borrow one of them. Okay. Just in case. Alright. Alright, let's start with Puppy. Can we borrow Missile? Sure thing, pal. Be good to him. Oof. He's so cute! Oh boy. K9 unit missile borrowed from Detective Gumshoe. Okay. That's a good doggo, yes. How's the investigation proceeding? It's not really. We have another meeting coming up. We're supposed to talk about Mr. Edgeworth's motive. His motive? See, Mr. Edgeworth's father died in the DL6 incident. And the guy who got the lone suspect declared innocent was the victim in this case. Robert Hammond. They're saying that's why Mr. Edgeworth shot him. And Edgeworth never talks about his past. I bet they'll drag that out and hit him with it in court tomorrow, too. Poor Mr. Edgeworth. I gotta admit, it doesn't look good, pal. Okay. Okay, let's head out to the lake. Yes. To the lake, and we will, Hey, Nick. Missile's been acting strangely. Missile? Oh, alright. That little creature of the detectives. Come on, Phoenix, you don't like dogs? I mean, I'm a cat person, but dogs are alright. I mean... Hey, I love little doggies. Good boy, good boy. Grrr! What's wrong, Missile? Yep. Eek! Missile! Missile! Whoa, stop that thing! Cannibal, it's eating my samurai dogs! Oh... My samurai dogs! Wow, he ate every single one! I'm sorry, Larry. Sorry, don't pay my bills, Nick. It's going to have to this time. Oh, boy. Okay. Well, sorry, I have an investigation to do, Larry. Sorry about your dogs. Okay. Moving out here didn't do anything. You look less sad. Okay. Okay. Maybe we're gonna have to examine things with the dog present. Okay. food and some magazines on the sheet. Okay. Okay. I don't think we're gaining anything there right now. I can't get over to the samurai dogs. The original samurai dogs, no less. Hey man, whoever calls their product the original first wins. Why don't you add world famous to the sign? Hey, good idea! What have I done? Okay. The trash can is empty. At least the place is well maintained. Huh, I almost didn't see the signpost. Left boat docks, right exit. Okay. Wow, Gourd Lake is really big. Yeah. Say, Nick, why is it called Gourd Lake? Oh. Well, a long time ago they used to grow gourds here. Whoa, no way. I was sure it was because the lake looked like a gourd when viewed from above. You know, like an hourglass shape? Well, it is shaped like a gourd, actually, but that's just a coincidence. Oh, okay. Okay. Is that the only help we're gonna get from the dog here is eating Larry's dogs? Yeah. Okay. Alright, let's take another quick look at the vote shop here. Is the dog like in our court records here? Oh! Oh. Oh, okay. So do we present him to somebody? Huh. Okay. I mean, this is gonna probably be a sore point now, but... Hey, Larry, look, it's Missile! Isn't he cute? Keep that butt away from me! What am I gonna tell the big boss? There's a big boss in charge of your hot dog stand? Nick, maybe the stand is a front for a mafia money laundering scheme. Oh, why not make it a Yakuza money laundering scheme? I mean, why not, right? I think you should probably try to look a little sorry about what happened. Oh, right! More dogs. Okay, yeah, here we go. Here's how we cover the dirty underside of samurai dogs. Yes, indeed. Hey, Lotta! Oh, cute. He yours? He's a canine police dog. His name's Missile. Huh. Canines are the ones that used to sniff for things, right? I wonder what Gordy smells like. I hadn't thought about that. Okay. That didn't really get us anywhere, even though that's kind of basically what I'm thinking. Alright. I don't think Lotta takes very good care of her. SUV is covered with dents. I can't believe. Okay. Wait, what if the sign said no setting tents on fire? I don't think they have signs like that. Okay. Oop. Not what I wanted to do. Slide over. Is there anything else you can look at here? Just that the trees go quite thick here. Further back, the trees fade into the shadow where sunlight can't reach them. So it may be that bringing the dog is not going to be the right answer. All right. Oop. Okay. Entrance. Okay. I'm just for silly reasons. Is Edgeworth here? December 26th, detention center, visitors room. Looks like Edgeworth is in questioning. Let's come back later. Guess so. Okay, okay. No seeing his reaction to the dog then. Alright. Alright then. Detective Gumshoe, can we borrow one of the other things? Yeah, sure, pal. But I have to take back the last one I let you, Department of Policy. Well, take your pick. Which will it be? Let's just try the fishing pole. Can we borrow that flimsy-looking fishing pole? Sure thing, pal. Oh, and if it breaks, be sure to dispose of it properly, okay? Right. Fishing pole borrowed from Detective Gumshoe. Which is what I'm gonna say. I don't know what breaking it will do to our options. So, okay. All right. You know, you can't catch many fish in this lake. I'm not after small fry. I'm after the biggest fry of them all, Gordy. You really gonna try to fish out a monster? Save Edgeworth? Yes. Brings a tear to my eye in more ways than one. Okay. Okay. Do we try to do this from the rental shop, maybe? Wyatt's just committed to this. She's gonna fish a Gordy through sheer force of will. Yes. Yes. Okay, not from here. There doesn't seem to be any way to, at least. Okay. December 26th, Glord Lake Woods. Okay, Nick, this looks like a good spot. A good spot. For what? Time to do some fishing. She's serious. What are you gonna use for bait? Oh. Yeah. Oh. I figured something like this would happen. We should have brought Missile along with us, too. At least we... Oh. Nick! How could you? I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Some jokes are better left untold. Oof. She hit me. Okay, watch this, Nick. Just try not to reel in any empty cans or boots, okay? Here we go. Ack, my leg! What? Hey, what are you doing? Sorry, Lotta. Don't tell me you all are on some film company's payroll. Nick, pay. My poor wallet. Okay. I'm just gonna go back and get the metal detector. Oh boy. Alright. Okay, Colonel Fitzfarmer, that's right. Phoenix was misled about how lucrative a career in law really was. Yes. Okay. Can we borrow that metal detector? Sure thing, pal. I'm not sure what we're going to find with this. Remember, you're hunting for a monster. Anything is possible. Anything! Okay. I got Secret Weapons 3. I got an achievement for this. Oh, boy. Okay. Alright, okay, yes, back to the lake. My brain broke there for a second. Okay. Well, what are you gonna say about this? Sorry, Nick. I don't know much about that. I'm a mere seller of hot dogs. Okay. Oh. No, 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 no. Move. Okay. Hey, Lana, look at this. It's a metal detector. I know what it is. I'm not sure that's gonna pick up Gordy, though. Unless he's been eating people's watches to spare change or something. Oh. I hadn't thought about that. Okay. So, anyway, bringing it along here didn't automatically trigger anything. What about the rental shop? Beep, beep, beep. Okay. Nick! It's beeping! The metal detector's found something. Sure is loud enough about it. Whatever it is, it must be in those bushes. Go check it out, Maya! Why do I have to check it out? Nick! Look! Huh? An air tank? Huh, the valve looks broken. I thought it was Gordy. Why, first of all, why would Gordy be in the bushes? And second of all, why would a metal detector react to a sea monster? Oh. Huh. Something wrapped around this air tank. It looks like a string of flags? Well, we might as well take us with us now that we found it. Yeah, we need to ask, Larry about this. Air tank of dubious value retrieved. Okay. What? An air tank? What about it? Larry, I wanted to ask you about this tank. Have you seen it before? Have you seen this before? Huh? Me? No, never. Who the heck would go diving in the middle of the winter? There's something about the way his eye twitched when I showed him the tank. I think I'd better pursue this line of questioning a little further. Say, is this air tank yours? What? Why would I have a thing like that? I don't know, for your compressor? Look, see how there's a string of flags around the tank valve? It's just like the string of flags around your Steel Samurai there. Must be a coincidence. There's a string of flags everywhere these days. Really? Like elementary schools. And used car dealerships. Look, why would I need a tank anyway? You used this to inflate that, didn't you? Inflate what? What else? That big puffy Steel Samurai. No, why would you go asking me a question like that? Looks like I hit the nail on the head. Right. Actually, yeah, why are you so nervous about this? See, the compressor I always used was on the fritz. So I tried using the tank to inflate it just once. And, it didn't go so well. Are you behind the Gordy stuff? As I suspected. It didn't go so well? Yeah. Do you think you'd be a little more specific? Come on! Look, it's embarrassing, so I don't really want to talk about it. Tell us! Tell us! Yes, tell us! Fine. Whatever. It's like what I said, the compressor was busted. So I took the tank and tried to fill the samurai up with that. And then... BLAM! The valve busted open and made this incredible noise. And the tank there took off like a rocket. And it took my poor deflated steel samurai with it. What? Off into Gourd Lake? It sure scared me out of my gourd, that's for sure. Moving on from the pun. Alright. Okay. Is there anything else we can... Yes, there we go. Some walls clapping, yeah. So the tank and the steel samurai you were trying to fill up flew away. What happened next? Well, all that happened on the 20th or so. The 20th, a week ago. Now, as far as I can see, the tank went flying out into the lake. So I went out every night in a boat looking for it. I mean, Kianse gave me that steel samurai after all. Or Citizen Kane, I forget which, but yeah, that was perfect. Yeah. When did you find it? Just the night before last. It flew way out there. It took me 4 whole days to find it. The night before last was the night of the murder. Sorry for not telling you, Nick. Actually, I was here on the night of the murder. But you see, I went home before midnight. So you didn't know about what happened. No. That's too bad. It's not all bad. We solved one mystery at least. A mystery? Maybe we should go tell her. Yes. Okay, Gourd Lake Woods. Well, Mr. Lawyer, I got the info you needed. You got Scoop and Gordy for me yet? Okay, I'm just gonna save just in case. Okay. Lotta. There's no such thing as Gordy. Wait, what? How can you be so sure? Really, Nick? You all got some proof Gordy don't exist? The proof that Gordy doesn't exist. Of course I have proof. No lawyer with his badge can make a claim without proof to back it up. Here's the proof that Gordy doesn't exist. Larry's air tank? What are y'all doing with an air tank? This is Gordy. Excuse me? What exactly are you saying, Nick? There's a stand near here, a hot dog stand. There's a giant inflatable samurai doll there. About a week ago, an idiot who happens to be a friend of mine tried to fill it. Hey, Shadow Fox! Welcome to the stream. He used his air tank, and when the valve blew, the tank flew into the lake. Apparently it made a pretty loud bang when it flew. A bang? The tank, along with the still deflated samurai, fell into the lake. At the same time, A couple was taking a photograph of the lake. This photo. Wait. So, you're saying that Gordy, 7 a.m.? Oh, I'm sorry. What an awful time to be awake. Yes. Is really the Steel Samurai? Well, that's a fine way to ruin a gal's dreams. Oh, sorry, Lotta. No, it's okay. You win. I'll give you your info like I promised. Poor Lotta. Alright. So tell us this information you have. Promise is a promise, I guess. I overheard the cops around here saying something about the witness tomorrow. They said he's the caretaker of the boat rental place up the path here. Boat rental? Yes. There's someone there? I mean, it looks so deserted. Kata is my sister's name? Okay. Lotta. Okay, Lotta is. Okay. That's an interesting coincidence. Just an old guy living all by himself. Y'all should go check it out. Thanks, Lotta. We will. Let's get cracking, Nick. Hold on. Something else? Yeah, the night of the murder. My camera clicked twice, you know. Wait, so you have another photo? Well... yeah, but there's nothing in it at all. Just the lake. I figured it wouldn't be much use as evidence, so I kept it to myself. Well, it might not be helpful at all, but... here, take it. Shows an empty lake, taken automatically at 12:24 at 11:50 p.m. That is a weird time to have the picture. Okay. Not sure how that'll be relevant yet, but it certainly seems odd. So... because I live in Finland and we got Wendy's, we got McDonald's. Oh, okay. Time for me to pack up and leave. Alright. Poor Lotta. It's all Larry's fault. The legend still lives on, I guess. The legend? Yeah, the legend of Larry, familiar to all who know him for any length of time. When something smells, it's usually the butts. Oh, boy. Someone should whip that butts into shape. Oh. That's so dumb. It still gets me. That is very, very dumb. But... let's see. Nope. Oh, no, nothing to talk to him about. Yeah, let's get down to the boat shop then. Okay, December 26th, boat rental shop. Hey, Nick. This is the boat shop that Lotta was talking about. You're right. Doesn't seem to be anyone around at all. Well, let's go check it out anyway. Yes. December 26th, Caretaker's Shack. Meg, is that you? Eek! Hey, is that Keith with you? Where have you two been? I've been worried sick. Nick, you handle this? I think I'll leave this one up to you, Maya. Meg? Yes? Finally made up your mind, have you? Okay, I see this. Why this guy wasn't the star witness. My mind? You'll run the pasta shop when I'm gone? Pasta? Glad to hear it, glad to hear it. You'll make your old man proud. When you kids left the house, I didn't know what to think. How am I supposed to keep this place running, an old man like me? Polly, the kids are home. Hello, hello. Quack. Nick, what was that? A parrot. The one on that perch. Keith! Yes? I'll leave the wet noodle in your capable hands, Sonny. Nick, what's the wet noodle? I think it's the pasta shop, Maya. Based on the available evidence, I say it's the name of his pasta shop. That's a relief, isn't it, Polly? Hello, hello. Squawk! You... Oh, this is going to be a fascinating cross-examination. Oh, he fell asleep. I guess he's relieved. Okay. Let's just look around the place first. Wow, what an amazing parrot that is. Good morning. Hello. It ignored me. What, you forgot Meg? You gotta call her name first. Her name? Polly, how you been? Hello, hello. Squawk. Neat, so the parrot's name is Polly. Yes, because what else would it be? Parrot added to the court record. Okay, so at some point we're gonna have a purpose for presenting a parrot. That isn't okay. Yes. Too bad all she can say is hello. Har har har. Well, Polly can say lots of things. You just need to know the secret words. The secret words? Okay. Why did that check off? Is it gonna be just the same thing? Polly, Polly? What's your name? Polly! Squawk! Hee hee, cute! Maya's found a new friend. Yep. Okay. Wow, there are lots of various fish in Gourd Lake, aren't there? Something's funny, Nick. All these fish are saltwater fish. This fishing pool looks expensive. Maya's gonna turn out to speak fluent bird. I can feel it. Oh, yeah. Look, a little safe. It's locked. Of course it would be locked. It's a safe. Wow, he has a television in here, too. Okay. Looks like a kitchen unit. It's pretty clean. With a single burner. Interesting. Funny, he doesn't look like the type who would keep things tidy like that. You're forgetting, Nick. He's running a pasta shop here. He's running a pasta shop with one burner. Okay. Look, Nick, he has an electric blanket on his table. Looks warm. That's a great idea. We should do that at the office. We can sit down with our client snug and warm and drink hot cocoa. And what? Talk about murders? Aw, you're a party pooper, Nick. Okay. Anything else for us to actually look at? Okay, let's talk. Alright. What about this wet noodle of yours? A pasta shop? Yep. To think, the wet noodle will live on when I'm gone. My father started it, you know, so that makes you two the third generation. Meg. Yes? Tomorrow we'll start with the secrets of dough tossing. Dough tossing? You too, Keith. Yes? You'll be the best pasta wrangler the West has ever seen. Pasta wrangler? The West? Isn't pasta from Italy? Meg! Yes? You know the best pasta's always been made west of the Rockies, don't you? Right, of course. Everybody knows that. Everybody, yes. Nick. Huh? How long do we have to keep up this all in the family charade? I don't think we're ready to break it to him yet, so, This old man must know something about the murder. We're not leaving until we find out what that is. This is a boat rental shop, right? What are you talking about? This here's the Palace of Pasta, the wet noodle. Well, now that you mention it, we haven't gotten many orders for spaghetti lately. All the kids come up and say, "Yo, dude, we want to ride in one of your boats." That's why I keep them boats out there. Youngsters these days, darn if I understand them. I'm pretty confused myself. Nick, this isn't going anywhere. But this old man is the witness tomorrow, right? We've got to find some way of getting information out of him. My memory's gotten worse of late. You think? That's why I just tell everything important to old Holly here. Everything important? We're gonna have to talk to the bird, aren't we? I wonder. Holly, what's the number to the safe? 1228. Alright. Hey, Holly, watch it, will you? See, Nick? All it takes is a little clever thinking. And a criminal mind? Quick, Nick, write that number down. Hey, don't get me involved in your little heist schemes. Okay. Let us be crooks. Look a little safe. It's locked. Well. Yeah, but we've got the... Oh. Well, if we got the combination, why can't we open it then? Now listen here, Keith. Remember that tricolor pasta we were talking about? Our rainbow-loni? I figured out the last color we should use. Indigo blue. Indigo blue? That didn't seem to work the way I thought it might. Is he gonna do something like that with everything we present? I just a quick, experiment here. Now listen here, Keith. Remember that? Okay, yep. Okay, so if what we present isn't relevant, that's what he does. Got you. Okay. Okay. Will you say anything about Gordy? Or are we just gonna get the same thing? We're gonna get the same thing. Got you. Okay. Okay, so apparently we can't get to the safe. I guess at least not while he's here. Will we say anything to the pop? More to the... Okay. Okay, I don't see what more we can do here at the moment. Okay. Okay, nothing more we can talk to him about. Number 26, Police Department. Criminal Affairs. Detective Gumshoe isn't here. Now that you mentioned it, didn't he say he had a meeting to go to? Ah, that's right. Let's come back later. Okay. Okay, does that mean Edgeworth is back? No, he's not back. Anything to do here? Hospital law offices. Apparently Mr. Grossberg is on vacation today. Well, I guess I can come back tomorrow if I need anything. Okay. It's a bit weird. We can only come there from the detention center? Okay. It's a bit odd, though. Okay, so I guess whatever we need is gonna be... Well, why don't we go to the law offices and let's just talk to them. Ah, fresh air! I gotta say, freedom feels great. Behave yourself in the courtroom tomorrow, okay? Misbehaving is much more fun. It's not gonna be so much fun when Edgeworth refuses to pay your bail again. Right! Oh, oh dear. Okay. Well, what should we do? I don't know. I've been in detention this whole time. I think I'll let you decide what we should do. Deal? Well, any thoughts you want to share? Well, I was in detention all day. I think I'd like more time to think. Poor Maya, she probably thought about me the whole time she was in there. Okay. So that's not going to help there. Back to the lake. Seems to be the only thing we can check out. Okay. Got nothing more we can talk to about him. I'm sure there's nothing more to examine. Because, yeah, we checked everything. Okay. Alright. I guess for the moment, I will assume we still need to... There's something we're missing in here. Okay, there doesn't seem to be anything else we can talk about. We got the safe combo, but we don't seem to have any way to, use it. What we got on hand? Huh. Look, a little safe. It's locked. Yeah, so we know the combo. Let's see. Did we miss something here that we can... Yes, 1228. We know. Okay, let's see. And then we do that, we just get... Yes. only thing that's really new for us to do then is to we can present Polly as evidence to people. Why that would be helpful, I'm not sure, but it does. It's something to do. Sorry, Nick. I don't know much about that. I'm your seller of hot dogs, of course. Okay. There's a lot of still here. Oop, no. Nope, she is not. Okay. Is there anything new to examine while she's gone? Okay, nope. Oh, I'm just a simple country hot dog vendor. Yep. Oh, boy. Oh. Okay. Yes, this is getting a bit late. I don't want to be swallowed on this right now, so I'm going to take a quick. I'm going to go ahead and look this up here and see where we're at. Okay, Phoenix Wright. Okay. Oh, okay. I never would have thought that. Okay. Oop. Okay. So. Glad I looked that up. That probably never would have occurred to me to do this. Okay. We present our attorney's badge. That a lawyer's badge? Yes, it is. I don't believe it. This old guy is the first person to recognize my badge. I get it. Huh? Yep. I got you figured out now. You're not Keith. Nick. Now's our chance to clear things up. Sir? No, I'm not Keith. And I'm not Meg either. We're here investigating a murder that took place on this lake the other night. Please help us. Finally, someone takes Phoenix seriously, or not. Yeah. A lawyer, huh? Please, mister. Alright, I'll help. But on one condition. Of course there's a condition. What's that? When this case is over and done, you'll run the wet noodle. Oh, boy. Okay. Okay, we promise. Nick, are you sure about this? Hey, anything to get this case solved. Also, who wouldn't want to eat Phoenix noodles? I guess so. That's my boy. Good for you, Keith. Wait, didn't I just say... You too, Meg. Yes? You bring a tear to your old man's eye, you know? Yeah, at this rate, it kind of sounds like Phoenix might make more doing this. No, what was that you wanted to know? Speak up, Holly. Hello, hello, Squawk. Now he's talking to the bird again. How do we get him to talk to us? Okay, we gotta present something. Does that work? Oh, yep, I've seen this. You know something about this, sir? Keith. Yes? It's okay, you can call me Dad. Dad, you know something about this? That's right, Phoenix. Whatever you gotta do. Yep, the other night, out in the lake. Yes, yes? I know all about that. I seen it. What? Tell us. Tell us what you saw. Well, I suppose, since you're taking over the shop and all. Okay, so we gotta present something else. I don't know. Okay. Okay, asking about 2 gunshots apparently won't do it. Do we just present this again? Oop. No, I didn't want to look at it. Okay, so we're just like back to this. Polly here's my only friend in the world. Isn't that right, Polly? Hello, hello! Okay. Okay, I wouldn't think that would do anything, but okay. Oh, right. Oop, no. How does that go to profiles there? No. Okay, there we go. Alright. You know about Gordy? Nope. Okay. Well, that was, Alright, let's just go through all these then. Alright. Do we try the attorney's badge again? You won't be needing that badge for an imposter shot. Toss it. I think I'll hold on to it if you don't mind. The bird is going to say some critical piece of evidence. Yes. Almost certainly. Okay. Okay. Yeah, that wouldn't make much sense for you to respond to that. Okay. 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 Yeah, I think we tried that. Okay. Wait, can we just back out of this? Oh, okay, that's probably what we needed. There we go. Okay. I forget the time, but it was pretty dark outside. Probably night, yep. It was after midnight, but okay. Then I heard this bang, so I looked outside. Then I heard another one, bang. A little while later, this boat comes back. Then a young man walked by my window here. He was muttering something to himself, but yep. What did he say? But yep. I forgot. I'll remember tomorrow by court time, promise. We need to know earlier than that. You know what? Little Terry was just here. Terry? Yep, that kid next door. You always used to make him cry, remember? He was wearing this tattered old coat. Got himself some whiskers growing out his face. He must be talking about Detective Gumshoe. He comes up and tells me to come down to court tomorrow. Really? Somehow I don't think we're going to get that much useful information from this guy. Maya, maybe we should be leaving. I think you're right. Oh wait, I had one more question. Polly! Have we forgotten something? Squawk? Don't forget DL6! Huh? What did she just say, Nick? Something very, very interesting. Yes. One more time, Holly. Don't forget DL6. What? The DL6 incident? Hey, Dad. This is getting weird. Who is this old guy? Why would that bird Polly know about DL6? We have to figure out who that old man is. Oh, what? He locked the door from the other side. Who could that old man be? I called it dance again. I think I need to do a little more research on this DL6 incident. Maybe I should ask Detective Gumshoe. Alright. Sorry, Larry, I don't think we have anything to talk to you about. Okay, criminal affairs. There we are. December 26th, Police Department, Criminal Affairs. Hey, pal, long time no see. You don't look so happy. What's wrong this time? Actually, we wanted to ask you something. Yeah? You know the boat rental shop down at Gourd Lake? Oh, yeah. The old man who runs it is appearing as a witness in court tomorrow, right? Huh? How did you... that was supposed to be top secret. Do you know who that old man is, Detective? Actually, I don't. He's a bit of an odd bird. I haven't been able to get a straight answer out of him. I decided at first he wasn't persuasive enough to stand and testify as a witness. That's why we called Miss Lotta Hart yesterday. As for who he is, we have absolutely no idea. Sounds suspicious. Oh man, that's... You have to rely on him as a witness. I'm sorry. Yeah. Or, well... I guess you'd be happy about that, the fact that he's so unreliable. Detective Gumshoe, please help us. Huh? We need to know about the DL6 incident. That was when Edgeworth's father died. I can't help but think it has something to do with his current case. To tell the truth, I don't know much about DL6 either. Mr. Edgeworth forbade us from reading the file. So, I'm afraid I can't show them to you either, pal. What? However, if you can convince me somehow that the DL6 incident is related to this case, well, I guess I consider opening the file up. Okay. I guess this is where we present the bird. What's that? A parrot? The old man at the boat rental shop's parrot. The parrot knew about that incident. That incident? DL6. What? Holly, have we forgotten something? Quack. Don't forget DL6. Quack. Huh? I'm pretty sure that old man must have taught her that word. Yeah, but how would that old man know about the DL6 incident? Wait, what if that old man was connected to DL6? Nick, you think he might be? I get ya. Sounds like you need information on the DL6 incident. Through there is the station's records room. I'll give you special permission to go in and find what you need. Alright, way to go, Detective Gumshoe. Okay, Nick, to the records room. I guess it's time we face Edgeworth's past. Okay. Okay. Let's get in the records room. December 26th, Police Department records room. Wow! It's amazingly dusty! 10 years of files and 10 years of dust, I guess. Let's find the DL6 stuff quick. 15 years ago, both me and Edgeworth were 9 years old. We were almost through with 4th grade when he suddenly transferred. Because of DL6? Nick, I found out where the file is. Oh, thanks! Just let me know what you want to know about the DL6 incident. I'll go get the right file. Okay. Well, first I have to get a handle on the main facts, like a summary. Right. Summary. Found it. Here you go. December 28, 2001. That's exactly 15 years ago from the day after tomorrow. So in 2 days, the case is closed. The incident took place in the elevator of the district courthouse. What? Is this the same district courthouse where we're holding the trial now? Looks like it. There was a large earthquake at 2 p.m. that day. Okay, well that's where the earthquake thing comes in. Part of the court building collapsed and all the lights went out. Wow, that was some earthquake. At the time, 3 people were trapped in the elevator. It took 5 hours for them to be rescued. 5 hours? That would be scary like that in the dark. There was a lack of oxygen in the elevator and the survivors were unconscious. The survivors? One of the 3 in the elevator had been shot in the heart. That was Mr. Edgeworth's father, wasn't it? He said that his father was shot before his very eyes. So Miles Edgeworth was one of the other passengers in that elevator. Okay. Do you have data on the victim? Edgeworth's father? Yeah, hold on. Victim, here. Found it! Gregory Edgeworth, 35, defense attorney. Yeah, man, it's going to some real conspiracy stuff. Yeah. If he were still alive, he'd be 50. He had lost that day's case in court and got in the elevator with his son, Miles. Miles? Miles Edgeworth, of course. So he was in the elevator with his father. Yeah, we established that. Yes. From the angle of the bullet and other evidence, it could not have been a suicide. The murder weapon, a pistol, was found in the elevator. The pistol had been fired 2 times. Where have I heard that before? Huh. Sounds just like this current case. What's going on here? Okay. Suspect data. Got any data on the suspect in there? That would be the guy my mom got arrested. Hold on, this is it. The man arrested as the suspect in DL6 was Yana Yogi? He was a clerk in the court, apparently. So he must have been the 3rd person in the elevator. Well, then he had to have done it. But he was found innocent, thanks to his defense lawyer, Robert Hammond. Hammond, the victim in our case. Right. The suspect, Mr. Yogi, was oxygen deprived, so much so that he had brain damage. He lost all memory of being in the elevator. After he was declared innocent, he disappeared. Where could Yugi have gone to, I wonder? He may be closer than we think. I guess I know generally what happened in DL6 now. I still don't know what sort of impact the whole thing had on Edgeworth. Nick. Are we going to take the whole file? There's too much. We'll never get it out. You're right. How about we just take what we think we'll need? Okay, right. That's probably all we'll be able to find here. Now all that's left is the trial tomorrow. I wonder how Dad will do testifying in court. And what we'll have to do in running this pasta shop. No doubt the sequel. Yes. Okay. Yeah, we're definitely leaving it there. That went a lot longer than I hoped it was going to. So, yes, we're just going to go ahead and find someone to raid now. Let's see who's up and available. I'm digging this. Yeah, curious where it's going. Yes, I certainly don't really know. Oh, let's see. Who in this do we want to send? Mostly bigger streamers on tonight, so... Yeah, I'm just going to send you guys to Tresden today. Let's make sure he's not ending or anything, though that'd be unusual for him. This is probably early in his stream. Yeah, we'll just send you to Tresden tonight. Alright, thanks for coming, everybody. See you tomorrow for Disco Elysium.